Hi, I'm Ronnie from Ronnie's Garage. I'm the Technical Chairperson for the Rolls-Royce Owners Club of Southern California. Today we're having our monthly technical seminar, and today we're going to be dealing with a S2 radio installation. What we have here is a 60 Bentley S2. Belongs to Mr. Smith right there. His radio didn't work and his clock didn't work. So he took it upon himself. He asked me a little bit about it before, I think. You did, didn't you? Yes. Yeah. So he took it out himself, and today we're going to put it back in. He had them repaired. The original radio came out of it. It's an AM band. This one is a 1960. He's got the, what is this? This is a Radiomobile model 502T. Now this radio has a remote amplifier, which is not too far from us, just back up behind the dash. And he had it repaired locally in Santa Ana. There's a shop called Car Radio Center. I've known this guy for close to 40 years. He took the business over from his father. He repairs old radios, but not the tube type, correct?
This is transistor.
Yeah, this is transistor. As you can see, a big transistor right there on it. Since Robert took this thing apart, I want to show you the level that he went to make sure he can remember where everything went. You can come over here. He bagged each set of screws with labels inside so he would remember where they went. That's the right way to do a restoration, or in this case, he's never had this apart, so this way he can be sure to get all those right screws in the right place. And if you keep them separated, if you have extra screws, that'll make you wonder, well, okay, now these were in this area, where is it missing? As you can see, this radio has some interesting looking plugs. This right here is like the DIN cable, I think, for a modern radio, where this goes from the amplifier to the radio. That's it, right? Yeah, this plugs in here, and it's usually they offset pins, so you can't put it in wrong. So this is a remote. This is what gets hot, obviously, because it has heating fins on it, and this does the tuning. He mentioned also the speaker wires. An old test that I've heard is just to take like a C-cell battery and hook up 2 wires to your speaker. The 2 wires from in here, if it pops. If it pops, makes a noise, then it's more than likely good. One thing that'll make it easier if you're trying to crawl around in here is to pull the seat cushions out, which lift out pretty easy.
That's good.
Gives you a little bit more space. And
Shows a little knowledge.
well, the problem is getting your body in here between here. And if you have a continental version of the Silver Cloud, it's even harder. It's tighter. Make sure that if you do take your seats out, to put the cushion side down, because there's tacks and staples on this. It could scratch your paint. That too. Here's your little sliding tray with the ashtray. That goes underneath the radio. Let me get his screws out. So you got the radio, it's going to go inside the dash. You got these brackets that come down off the sides. I'm thinking it goes like this. And then that sliding tray screws to those, right? Yes. See, I have to remember because I didn't take it apart, and my memory is getting worse when I get older. Now these right here are the fascia wood that goes around the instrument screws. They're machine screws. They've got an oval head and a slot, and if you'll notice, they've got a brown tint to them. Has to help blend in with the wood. So these are hard to find if you lose them. So that goes on last. What do we got here? Back, front screws, radio to bracket. Okay. Now these screws hold these brackets on the side. Okay, whichever way they go. And they're machine screws, so they have threads cut on them, but you can see they're very short. And the reason for that is you don't want to put a long screw in here and damage the inside. Probably won't damage it until you turn it on. and then you might get a little smoke. And then you'd have to take it back, and you said it costs $355 to repair this old radio?
A little more, $395.
Right, and you heard it work, you went to the shop, he showed you it worked and all that kind of stuff. Fred's a good guy. What are these? Oh, these are little tiny wood screws. As you can see, this has a metal fascia on it. That screws into the wood on the main dash, and it has these tiny little wood screws. And of course they're all slotted. Very few Phillips screws on this car. Okay, as far as I know, the only Phillips screws on this car would be the screws on the starter, the screws on the generator, and I think the screws that hold the back seat in are Phillips from the factory. Okay, these are little hex head nuts, 1032, and this is from, whoa. Oh, this, I believe these hold on to they screw into the bottom of this for the sliding tray. Okay, what do we got here? Dash tray. Oh, we'll figure it out. One little tool that's helpful when dealing with slotted screws, and I've showed this before, these are called screw starters. What they are is a little spring-loaded thing. If you watch, to load it, you turn it to the little notch, so these things line up, and then when you push on it, the center one twists. So what it does, if you put it on the slot and lock it, it holds the screw.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, and it's not magnetic. Well, tool people. I get mine off. They come in different lengths, and this is actually a Phillips screw starter. You can see it has a taper to it.
Yeah, really. What's it called again?
Some of them are a little bigger.
I call it a screw starter.
They do work a lot better.
Yeah,
Screw thing.
Put it that way.
it's a widget. It's a widget. Okay, I'll crawl in there now. What I will do, though, since the interior light is on, I will, out here in the fuse box, I will pull the fuse for the interior light to maintain the battery. This far outside fuse right here, just pull it out. As you can see, the light went out. Now this helps on the body for that. At least it's not real tall. Okay. So the knobs just pull off, and this face comes off with the faceplate. Okay, so we got to look at the cabling here. All right, this is an antenna wire. Goes up to this. This car has a roof-mounted antenna. This is a speaker wire, I'm assuming. This would be a power wire. Should be ignition fused, so the radio only comes on with in the accessory position, which is to the left, or in the ignition position, which is to the right. It's been a while, Robert, but where was the amplifier mounted?
Right behind the radio.
Oh, right on this brace?
Yep.
Okay.
And they both came out together.
Oh, it was mounted directly to the radio.
Yep.
Right. Okay, now I got it. It appears as if this is the bottom of the radio. Brackets go on like this. Okay?
Okay, so the pointy edges come out.
So this would be the right bracket, and this would be the left. Okay, and it looks like we can put this on before it goes in. So that will stay on.
Just as a point of reference, those came out before.
Okay. Right, the 4 on the bottom, but it looks like it might go back in. We're going to reverse engineer.